It feels so good to say that I know what it feels like now. And now I can go back home to my family and push them more towards going to church. I could push my peers more towards going to church. I could even go up to elders and tell them how great God has been to me this past week. And I met so many of y'all. And like I said last night, I went up to a ton of y'all to pray for you. And when I said I love you, I really meant that. And even though we're different colors on different teams, different places, different cities, we are one family. These games, they're just for the fun, but the real fun is up here at the altar when we're all praising and worshiping Him.
But Tuesday night, God really spoke to me, and He was like, I don't need you to, if you're going to look like an idiot out, on the floor, if that's what you're going to do and you're not going to do it for me, then you're just looking like an idiot, if you're not going to jump up and down and, that's not, don't do that. If it's not for me, I don't want you to put your hands up if it's not for me. I don't want you to dance around if it's not for me. If it's not for me, then don't do it. And, I just gotten into the going through the motions, I guess, and that is something that's really hard to break, but, God's really moved through me, and 2 days ago, He told me where I was going to be a missionary. He's worked through a lot of my friends' life last night, receiving the Holy Spirit. And I just want to encourage you, if there's anybody back home that and they don't know God, that now is the time. It's not tomorrow, not the next day. Now is the time.
I told everybody at school I was taking a handful of pills and they wouldn't see me the next day. And I told them that I was going to slit my wrist, I was going to cut my body up because I wasn't worthy. And my friend, she called me right when I had that knife up against my skin. I was ready to cut myself. I was ready to do it. I had jars of pills, filled the counters, and I was ready because my mother doesn't be at home when I come home because she's at work. So I was ready. I was just getting ready to go. She called me on my phone. It was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, you know what? I'm finna go. And then she was like, no, listen to me. And I was like, why should I listen to you? It don't matter anyway. I'm finna die. And she was like, no, you're not. Pray with me. And I was like, okay, if this prayer doesn't work, then I'm gone. She was like, if it doesn't work, then I guess I'll see you in a later life. And I was like, okay. She prayed with me. And I was just in tears, crying out to God. In the kitchen, on the floor, crying my heart out to God, pouring in the tears, begging God for forgiveness. And I know some of y'all have seen me up here on this altar, praising the Lord like it ain't no tomorrow. I be dancing around, jumping up and down, screaming my heart out. And that's because I know that God saved my life. I was not promised today. I was not promised the day after the pills. But guess what? God did. God told my friend to call me just at that moment, at that second. And when she did that, my life got saved. And I thank God for my friend. So I'm encouraging everybody out there, no matter how weird somebody is, no matter how they dress, no matter how they act, be their friend because you never know what they're going through. Thank you.
See, 2 years, 2 months, and 8 days ago, and yes, I keep count, I witnessed something that changed my life. I saw my best friend kill himself. And I thought, I was angry. Why didn't I do anything to stop him? Why wasn't I there for him? Why did he do this? And I was really lost. And I was angry at God. I quit believing. If there was a God, He would not take this friend from me. So, Tuesday night, when that one guy was up here talking, and he was saying, let go of all guilt, let go of everything, I thought I let go of it. But then I went back to the cabin, and I realized I was still guilty. I was still feeling this pain, that it was my fault, that I should have done something else to help him. And the last night, I had 2 of our youth leaders praying over me because I had never felt the Holy Spirit. And finally I realized, it was just His time. It was what was supposed to happen. So I let go of everything. I let it all go.
I got filled by the Holy Spirit for the first time in my life. And it was great. It was the best thing I ever felt in my life.
And whenever I came to this camp, I just had a pure, utter hatred for God. I could not stand even hearing his name. Let me tell you a little bit about why. Last year whenever I came to camp, I dealt with a lot of pain that I had from being raped by my father when I was little and my uncle just a few years ago. And I let all that go. And I figured that I was finally on the right track. But last August, I was raped by a guy that I barely even knew. And I hated God because I figured that he let this happen again, even after I had tried so hard to go back to him. So I began to become very suicidal, and I hated myself and God and almost everybody. I became someone that I didn't even know. And I met this guy who introduced me to devil worshiping, and that became my religion. And so whenever I came to this camp Monday, I resented God, and I was filled with this demon that I didn't even know how to control, and it had such a hold on me that I just wasn't myself at all. So Tuesday night, whenever we were worshiping, I sat in my chair and I wasn't going to have any part of it, but as everyone around me started to sing, I could feel God starting to move in my heart, and I could feel just his love and his conviction for all that I had ever said, because I had cursed his name so many times and I had said that I hated him to so many people. And so I just began to pray, and I just began to ask for his forgiveness. And through the whole worship service, all I did was sit in my chair and pray for his love again, that I could come back to him. And whenever we came down to the altar at the end of church, I just felt him release me and get rid of that demon that was inside me. And I know that I'm free now and that I'm never going to go back to the way that I was.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and what I'm about to say, most people I know don't know this. So, when I was smaller, my dad left my sister, me, and my mom, came back, molested my sister and me, abused us in every way possible, left, and then tried to come back into my life about a year ago. Ever since then, I have tried to kill myself. I have cut myself so many times. I have scars that hurt me now when I look at them. I've had eating disorders. I've had anything you can think of. But whenever I came here, Monday night, I didn't feel anything. Tuesday night, whenever he brought up how there was no one ever there to tell me I was beautiful, I've had self-esteem issues with, I've never felt pretty, I've never felt beautiful, I've never felt good enough for anyone. And then one of my friends started praying for me, telling me he loved me and that I was beautiful. And thank you. And last night, I took the next step with God, and I'm going to keep going. And I want to try and lead everybody I know to him and make everything better for everyone that I know, because he gave me hope. And I know after everything I've been through that he is my dad, and he is always there to tell me I'm beautiful, and he loves me.
I love everything about youth camp. I look forward to it every year, just for the closeness of God and the fire. And this is where I recharge. This is where I re-energize in the Spirit. This is my retreat from out there. Out there, it's a dog-eat-dog world. If you don't watch out, it's going to swallow you up. If you go back home to your old friends, you're going to fall back into your same old habits. We need to surround each other with each other. We're family, guys. We're all a family of Christ. We need to watch out for each other. We need to guard each other's weaknesses and plant each other's strengths. Okay? Iron sharpens iron.
I was getting ready for this camp, Camp Jackson, and I got to thinking, how many times have I dedicated my life to God and then just slipped out and gone back to doing the same old stuff? And I was afraid of letting everybody down. And Tuesday night, I came up here and I just let it all go, because I do not want to go back, because I've done so much so far.